The view of this alien stuff. Yeah, it looks like we've been visited for for a long time. I've been watching this ancient aliens on History Channel, and it looks like these we may be like our descendants might be our ancestors might be aliens. We might be the offspring of them, as it looks like they've built stuff all over the world and probably colonized, mated with everybody and stuff, and that'd be kind of a interesting sign up list. Who wants to come on board the ship so they can mate with the monkeys? I guess it goes back. It's possible they're mating with us. The missing link that they can't find. It could have been somebody. These aliens mated with a monkey of some sort to create the first portion of human. Then they probably mated 200,000 years later or something. They advanced them some more and stuff like that. It had to be quite the sign-up list. Yeah, who wants to mate with a monkey? It's like that's probably like half of us would be like, well, they're not putting out here on Earth, so let's go. I'll go to one planet, one Chung, and do them over there. At least my sperm will get some use, right? So it looks like it's very likely that we are. I mean, there's all sorts of evidence that aliens have visited. Egypt, all these stone buildings that are made, stone structures, just huge stones that are just like how they lift them and stuff. I don't know. These guys, it's strange is that these guys are believing in aliens and yet they just haven't figured out that maybe we are levitating with the power of our mind. It's just weird listening to these alien shows on History Channel, which is so pro-alien, and yet they've completely lost their mind of the concept of simply using mind thoughts like the magicians do. I mean, it's just strange that this is not a concept on this planet other than me. And the magicians, of course, and they're keeping it a secret. I'm the only one that's being forthcoming on this stuff. About what's going on. It's strange that they're like talking, they must have used the power, they must have siphoned, using this tower and some special thing to siphon the energy out of the earth to make the levitation. No. It's just the concept. They're just oblivious to the magicians. They're oblivious to them. And this is how, time travel, this is how they got millions of light years across the galaxy to our places via magic. It's just that simple. It's so simple to me, and yet these guys haven't a clue. They're talking about wormholes and stuff. Well, I mean, when they see UFOs dancing at the speed of thoughts up in the sky, you've seen some videos like that. That's you can't move like that traditionally. You can only move like that if you're thinking that quick. It's just, and you've got godly powers. You've got supernatural stuff going on. It's just strange that nobody can envision this concept other than me. But you've seen those. I mean, there's these videos on YouTube. Just look up a rocket launch of some sort. This one rocket went up over California, and somebody's got a camera on it. And then you notice that this little thing comes up from the side of a UFO to check out the rocket to make sure it's not a nuclear missile or something. It appears to be that the UFO guys are preventing nuclear annihilation on the planet, which they've probably been doing since the 70s when the Cold War was happening, and maybe somebody pressed the damn button, and I guess if they did, I'm guessing what happened is the aliens go in and deactivate the damn thing, and so it's not nuclear anymore. And so they appear that they not only are they on our side, but they don't want anybody to really die anymore. They don't want any nuclear. I think we launched a nuclear missile into the atmosphere, into the outer space there, and where the satellites are, and I think that was about the last one that we detonated. I don't know. It seems like we don't detonate anymore, and I think it's because, well, they might claim that they don't do it anymore because of environmental reasons, but I'm pretty sure that I think the UFO guys are putting a stop to this crap, and evidently they're I don't know, it's just they're sort of peacekeepers to keep everybody living. So I'm guessing that the rumors are true, that there's this, like, the 1% that's kind of controlling the Earth. Well, they're also trying to, like, devastate 90% of the planet, kill them, because we're no longer needed. We're just becoming a waste of space, because everything's been done now. Everything's needed. We don't need it. We're not. That's where the unemployment is indication of that we're not. There's just not much to do anymore, and so that's the idea. According to the rumors, is that they kill us, and that would be easy way of doing that would be to launch a few nuclear missiles and start the nuclear war, start the nuclear holocaust, and that would pretty much take care of 90% of the planet. But we got these alien guys, and I'm pretty sure that those alien guys are the biggest nemesis to the 1% that are controlling things. In fact, I have no doubt that the 1% are funding Area 51 research to try to figure out how to kill the aliens, how to control them, kill them. They're trying to figure out the reverse engineer the crap to figure out how to make stuff that can defeat them. Because they're getting tired of them. Because the alien guys are keeping the rest of us alive. So believe it or not, they could easily. I think they could easily waste us if they wanted to, but that's just not the way it is. It's they're maybe very actively part of my show, in a sense of maybe they're waiting for me to become fully mature, or whatever that means. And maybe that's when they'll show themselves later, is when I show myself later. I don't know when that'll be, but I think the aliens are. I talked to a couple of them a long time ago, psychically. But then again, I've talked to a lot of people psychically and didn't find out that they never talked to me. So until I get them under oath, then we find out that something's different than that. So it appears to be. Anyways, boy, I tell you, psychically is. Anyways, what else? Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, the crop circles and stuff are put there via UFO, some kind of energy in UFO. Maybe UFOs are directly putting them there, or something from the Earth is doing it. But it's definitely interesting to me, that kind of symbology in that. It's too bad we can't translate that stuff. They say that the ancient aliens say that the theory says that there's a whole bunch of, if we can figure out the message that was left here thousands of years ago when all that ancient sculptures and buildings were built, there's like they left behind a message, and we get to figure out what it is, and I guess once that's figured out, maybe we can move forward, and they'll show up, the aliens. This is kind of an odd way, if aliens exist, and it's pretty much proof that they exist, it is just an odd thing that they can't show up in spaceships like the V series, or the V movie, the V series that was on, that evidently we're not supposed to have any confirmation of anything supernatural, other than a few clips of UFOs in the sky. And I'll just talk about that a little bit. It appears as though there's always dualism to these crop circles and the UFOs, that it's just a hoax, somebody's pulling a gag, but that's the way it has to be. It's sort of like the magic, the rule of magic. Magic cannot exist in reality unless there's a side excuse for it, and that is that, you know, it's a trick. And I guess that's just the way it has to work. So that's why Martians can't show up on the planet and kick some magic whoop ass on everybody and kill everybody, because evidently we can't have any realization of supernatural stuff happening. And that's courtesy of me, I guess. So I am the basis of reality in this universe. Evidently, that's strange, because it's like you would think that, so the other aliens are waiting for my ass to show up. You would think that they'd have. Am I the center of reality in the universe, or just on this planet? I'm not sure. I'm alleging I'm God of this universe, but who knows, right? But you know, you'd think the aliens, they've got supernatural powers. They probably had their own God and was able to you know, to advance their technologies to the supernatural level. You would think, you'd wonder what the hell they're doing with us here, why they deal with our show, advancing our species by mating with people, and you would think they'd have better things to do with their time, but evidently I must be an important part of their plan. If this God thing is, if this show thing is for real, it is just odd that, I mean, we can't be invaded by Martians right now. There's just no way that it can occur. It's the rule of magic on this planet. It cannot happen. There's this one Ancient Aliens they're talking about on History Channel of this. I think it's related. The temples, all the temples of these ancient stuff is built along like an equator-looking thing that's actually perpendicular to the North Pole. So they say that it's related somehow to the magnetic field, and that's the message that the ancients left behind, that we could be the end of our lives when the magnetic field changes. I guess the North Pole and the South Pole will switch, and if it doesn't switch right away, all the sun's crap will hit us and burn us to death. I guess this has changed 100 times. It's cycled 100 times. I don't think that that's the worry. I don't think that's the message that's leaving behind. I got a feeling that the actual magnetic flux, whatever's protecting our atmosphere from the sun and the harmful radiation in the universe, is due to, well, it's due to supernatural powers. You see, it's due to godly powers, and there's the Pyramid of Giza, and a lot of the structures that are built have the what's that? what's that figure? One second. It's called the golden ratio. It's an amazing. This the pyramid in Giza was an amazing. The number of things they can decipher from the golden ratio and the way it was built. Everything is centered around a very mathematical orientation of that pyramid, and I think a lot of the other structures too around the earth. But the golden ratio is like God's number. It's God's golden ratio. It's kind of like look it up on Wikipedia, but basically it's what God put in a lot of the species. A lot of them have this golden ratio in the way they're built. It's kind of like God's number. So in building, it looks like all these buildings deal with the golden ratio, which is God's number. So what I deciphered from the series is that God's number is not just, and the reference to the magnetic North Pole is that I'm pretty sure that the magnetic field and what's protecting the Earth from atmosphere is God's work. It's a supernatural thing that's protecting. It's always amazing to me that this protective bubble that you try to enter the atmosphere and you burn up. It's just strange to me how you can enter into thin space, thin air, and somehow you're burning up. I don't understand. Usually I can see if you're hitting solid air, so really thick air, that you might start burning up. But it's very thin air up there, and all of a sudden you're coming in and it burns up. Things burn up in the atmosphere. It's meteors, and we're protected from meteors and stuff, and everything burns up in the atmosphere. Very strange to me how that can be occurring. I don't know. Nobody else finds that strange to me, but I don't know. There's just something strange about the protective bubble around our Earth, and I'm pretty sure that's the idea is that it's godly. It's a magnetic field. When you think about it, I'll give you a little bit of indication of magnetic field in our Earth. In anything, it takes electrons. It takes a charge to move. When a charge moves this way, it's like a rule of thumb. When the charge moves this way, it creates a magnetic field in this direction. So it moves that way, it creates a magnetic field like that. So what would happen, in order to create the North Pole, what would have to happen is, here's the Earth. Things have got to spin in this direction, and that's going to do is create, using that rule, the charges have to go in this direction inside the Earth. This is amazing. It's very strange how this could be happening inside the Earth. The magma or something inside the Earth is churning at an alarming rate. And if you take that rule and if you apply it all the way around, it produces the flux going up. So that in the inside it goes up and then it goes out and up to the bottom. And so that's what creates the rule, how that works. And that's just strange to me. What kind of organization is going on inside of our Earth's mantle that would cause it to go around in a circle, unless it's the spinning of the Earth itself that's causing it. I have to think about the direction the Earth is spinning. Give me a second here. Okay, so I was just thinking about. I believe it would be moving in the same direction as the Earth is rotating. Now, I guess this direction of north and south will switch. In order to do that, the flow of electrons has to go in the opposite direction. It'll be going in the opposite direction, and it'll create the rule. It'll create this going in this direction, going this. The flux will go down and up, and I don't think there's any relation to the flow interior to the rotation of the Earth itself. But that it is strange that it switches, and it's just bizarre that there's this flow of ions. See, when a current goes through a wire, it produces an electric field. That's how motors will work too. You spin the charges of electrons go through, and it makes you got a bunch of wires together, and it makes a large force that makes the motor move. But the reason why we have electric current like that is because we're forcing electrons to move along. We have a power source that we are controlling a conductor from one side to the other. It's just strange. You get it? That this thing is, what the hell is causing an electron charge inside? No, so don't think that the magma is moving. It doesn't have to. See, if the magma is moving, you got protons and electrons spinning around at the same time. Something has to separate the electrons in the flow, in the magma. Like what we would do with copper. With copper, we put a charge over here, and it moves the electrons from one side to the other, producing the charge. So we are skipping electrons along the proton atoms of the copper and creating the currents. What happened in the magma is you're moving the whole thing. Imagine the whole wire and everything moving. Let's see if I can explain this. If my hand moves, you would think, okay, I've got some electrons in my hand and it's producing an electric charge. Well, the problem is with that thought is that I've got protons in my atoms that are producing the opposite way, so it cancels out, you see. So unless I've got the flow of an ion, either positive or negative, separated from the atom, that's what electricity does. It shoves off the electrons off from one atom to the next and pushes them off in a flow, while the proton stays there in the atom, in the copper. See, the proton's not moving, the electron is. So it's the flow of a charge. So it is very odd to me what could be happening inside the Earth that is producing an ion charge like electricity, and what is powering, what's the conductor? It's magma. It's iron inside there, so that's sort of the conductor. But something is producing this charge, and that's just very unusual to think about what could be doing that. And then the fact that it switches occasionally, every so many thousands of years, it produces the opposite magnetic flux. It is just a very odd thing to me, and nobody understands how this can be happening either. I just pretty sure that it's supernatural, and the ancients have made a symbology based on the magnetic North Pole. And I don't think it's because of the destruction from the changing of the main poles, the magnetic North Poles. It is due to the fact that it's giving us the signal, hey, this is proof that these are godly powers that are protecting your atmosphere, producing the magnetic field. I have trouble believing that magnetic field is doing all the protection of our atmosphere, but that could just be a ruse for godly powers that do what it's doing to our atmosphere, the protection layer. I have trouble believing that magnetic flux can do that unless it's a lot. If it's a lot of magnetic flux, that is a lot of spinning. It's a lot of current flow in our core. It's just, I'm pretty sure that's what's going on with the ancients. But somehow they were able to, this History Channel is saying how they're tapping into the Earth's energy. I think these temples are could be producing the electric field, magnetic field. It's possible. It's possible that what that is. They were saying that these pyramids are power stations that produce energy up to the atmosphere. It could be the reverse. It takes energy from the atmosphere and it sticks it into the Earth and produces the magnetic field, or the atmospheric protection bubble. Like I say, I have trouble believing the magnetic flux is somehow that powerful that it can stop all those rays from the sun. So that's my thought on that. But that's about the end. But I'm just gonna say, I'm pretty sure the aliens are a big part of my show, at least in the pre-stages. And I've never seen one matter. I've never seen a UFO. But they seem to be a big part in my after show, and somewhere in the after show. I think they're going to show themselves sometime. And perhaps they want me to mate with them or something. And I'm like, well, where are they at right now? I could use some love and touch right now. I'm ready now, not later. Let's do it now. Or take me away to your planet. If I am part alien or something, it's like, take me someplace where they want me, because they don't want me here on this planet. It at least appears. But yeah, they're a big part thousands of years ago, and probably maybe hundreds of, a couple 100,000 years ago. But and maybe they're living among us. I mean, if they're able to mate with us a few thousand years ago, perhaps they're living with us right now on this planet. And we can't even tell because they look so similar. One thing I'll mention now is I got a feeling that our Earth is there's a rumor that our Earth is hollow. There's a hollow Earth project or theory, and I believe it. I can believe that there's some aliens inside of our Earth, living inside of our Earth. And I believe the entry points are right around the North Pole and South Pole. Maybe that's also what the ancient aliens were signifying to us, that at the North, and I've heard this, that the main North and South Pole are holes, be like holes in the ocean or in the Antarctica, where you can somehow enter into the Earth. Not sure quite how, but I'm guessing this protective bubble is also protecting. It just makes it very protective getting inside the Earth. But a main reason why I think that the Earth is hollow is because when Pantasia, that's our continents, when right now they're all separated apart, the Earth, all the continents, but they say Pantasia, I think that's the name of it, Pantasia, when a long time ago they were all together as one continent, and then they broke apart with the rifts, the plates, the tectonic plates. Well, this one video I saw led me to the idea that the Earth is expanding, and that is that it just made sense. The Earth, everything was together, and then everything broke apart when the Earth swelled. Everything broke apart. It wasn't just rifts and what's the word for it? Tectonic plates. But it was a combination of the Earth spreading apart. And they call that tectonic plates, but it's actually the Earth splitting apart. So it's all together as one continent without any ocean, and then all of a sudden it splits apart and produces all the stuff. And then somehow, this is what's confusing to me, where did the sinking oceans come from? That's what's confusing me. But I completely believe that we're spreading apart based on the Pantasia. I have a hard time believing that we were 75% ocean, and then one big ass land in one spot on the planet, and then that all split up to produce the continents that are split up. It's easier to believe that we were all together as Pantasia on one small planet, on say two-thirds the size of our current size, and then or about one-third, about a half. But anyways, and then we spread apart, and then everything split apart, and you can even see, if you see the ocean rifts, ocean ridges, you can see that there's like almost a splitting or spreading of the ocean line that's down there. What I can't figure, it all makes sense to me, except for where did the ocean come from? I don't know where the ocean came from. I'm guessing there was no water on the planet, or perhaps, okay, maybe we were completely covered in water, and then as the Earth splits, there became more volume of Earth, and thus the ocean's level came down. Essentially, we were all bottom of the ocean, and then as we split apart and made more volume on the Earth, the oceans sank. That's the only thing I can think of it. And I don't know. I'm pretty sure that we're spreading apart. So if the Earth is hollow, what the hell's inside there? And I got a feeling that's where the aliens are hanging out. Either that or in our bottom of our oceans, or else on the moon. I think, I should talk about the moon a little bit. That I think that's what's happening. And they sent a missile just a year ago to the moon to blow up a nuclear bomb or an atomic bomb, and they don't have any pictures of that explosion. So I'm pretty sure that the aliens disarmed that one too. We're getting very good at disarming all of our missiles. They don't like the moon mess with it. It appears that's kind of why maybe we don't go to the moon anymore. It's because they're hanging out on the other side of the Earth, on the moon. When you think about that moon, on the moon subject, the moon faces the same way, same face of the moon faces the Earth, and that's almost it's pretty much a miracle. That had to be done on purpose by a supernatural force, because no way could random act of the formation of our planet, of our moon, could produce the spin on the moon that would produce the exact synchronicity that would place the same face of the moon to the Earth. There's no way that can be occurring. That the laws of probability it's zero, unless some supernatural force spun the moon the way it did. And I'm pretty sure the reason why it did that is because the aliens did that so that they could live on the other side of the moon where we can never see them. And I think when we explored in our moon stuff a long time ago, we uncovered that, and they were unhappy or something, and that's why we haven't gone back. I don't know. I think NASA was freaked out or something and decided we're not going to go up there. I don't know if the aliens made a threat or something. I doubt it is. I think we've seen some weird stuff up there on the other side of the moon, and we decided to stay away. Well, I keep coming up with more stuff. What else? So it's just a little strange with all the evidence of alien involvement in our lives that the hiding that's done by the government's strange. It's like again, they make us out to be stupid idiots or something, and maybe we are. I don't know, but I don't know. It's on History Channel. It's not like it's not a main. It's on History Channel, so it's not like it's being hidden on media that much. It's becoming more and more like almost becoming solid proof now that we may be ancient, we may be alien DNA in us. So it's coming around, but you know, yet nobody wants to really talk about this too much more. It's the strangeness of the world, the strange things that are going on in the world. And the way we wipe it away, that we pretend that it doesn't exist, just go on with our own lives, and it's just I don't know, it's just strange to me that the mainstream media does not talk about this at all. And but they're a big part of our lives, I think, and probably will be for a long time. See if they introduce themselves sometime. Anyways, I think that's about it for this.